It has been a couple hours, I mean, a whole day almost, since we saw the Patriots fall to the Raiders 20-13, and it's Overreaction Monday, and I have a bunch of questions that I'm going to ask that is probably questions that need to be asked. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and I think the first question that we all need to ask ourselves, and the Patriots need to ask themselves, is Josh McDaniels the true answer at offensive coordinator? First half, it looked great. They were driving down the field. They were getting multiple drives that looked good for the offense. It was kind of flowing. There was a play specifically where I saw where it was a 3rd and 1, and they lined up for the tush push. And then it was a fake, and it was a handoff on a sweep to Travion Henderson. And that looked really good. But then once we got to the second half, and this is where good coaching happens, and you see good coaching with Pete Carroll and the halftime adjustments, and it just completely went stagnant. It was an interception to a 3-and-out, to a 3-and-out, to a 3-and-out, to a punt, and then the end of the game led to a field goal with basically 19 seconds left on the clock. And there was nothing that the Patriots could do in the second half. And it was flat out kind of embarrassing to watch because from what you saw in the first half to what you saw in the second half, it was night and day. And that's where I'm kind of thinking of just, this is the Josh McDaniels offense in 2025. We saw so many times where it'd be first down and it'd be a screen pass. Drake Maye was sitting back in the pocket and the offensive line was really holding up. You go look at the PFF stats. I watched every single rep from Will Campbell yesterday, except for the strip sack where, honestly, it was Ramondre Stevenson's fault because he was supposed to pick up the blocker, pick up the edge rusher, and he didn't. And then he gets immediately to Drake Maye. That led to a sack, but that was here nor there. It was just very, 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 very ugly on offense. And you also just, one of my keys to victory that I talked about was establishing the run game. It was rainy. It was nasty out. You still could throw the ball because we saw Geno Smith throw for 360 yards, which I'll get to in a bit when we're talking about kind of just, hey, the PFF grades for the safeties were really, 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 really bad. And we can get into that at the back half of this video, but we're talking about the offense right now. It just felt like there was no real true type play where Josh McDaniels looked like he shined. And I think it affected Drake Maye a lot because he stood back in the pocket and you could see 1, 2, 3 seconds go by and nothing's happening. He's just standing there and then he has to scramble out. His numbers look good. Like Drake May's numbers, 30 for 46 for 287 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But a lot of those yards came in garbage time. When it was the second half, they couldn't get the ball moving downfield at all, and the Raiders just controlled the line of scrimmage. And they shouldn't have, because we didn't really hear Malcolm Koontz's name. We didn't really hear Max Crosby's name until the end of the game. It was them beating themselves, shooting themselves in the foot, which really kind of just disappointed. And again, Travion Henderson, 5 carries for 27 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 7 carries for 15 yards. A 2.1 average. Something has got to change with that. You cannot have your starting running back average 2.1 yards per carry. That is just not good. And that's what leads me to, like, is Josh McDaniels the answer? Or are we going to deal with what we saw back in his last season, back in 2021. And it was just ugly, ugly, ugly football. And that's the reason why you only scored 3 points. But that it just should not happen with the weapons that you have. Stephon Diggs, 6 catches for 57 yards in his first game back from a torn ACL. I am not going to complain about that one in the slightest. He's going to get better as the season goes. But guys, Like, this is just really bad. And they talked about it, but I think it's truly McDaniels. And I really think Drake Maye needs to play better because it didn't really seem like he was seeing the field that well. And he had all the time in the world. And a lot of his guys, like Kayshon Boutte, he was getting open a lot and missing him. He was missing Pop Douglas on a couple throws. He was missing Hunter Henry on a couple throws. Drake Maye's got to be better, but the real question is Josh McDaniels the answer? And you guys can answer it for me down in the question. Do you think Josh McDaniels should be the Patriots offensive coordinator? Give me a Y for yes, or give me an N for no. I want to talk about the defense a little bit, and there was one play specifically where I was just like, what are we doing on defense? And if you guys want to go back and watch the touchdown play, the opening touchdown play by the Raiders, by Trey Tucker, the Patriots decide to blitz, except they only blitz the edge rushers. And you notice, if you watch specifically, you don't see it in real time because you're watching the game, you're watching the play develop. If you watch it over and over again, you see Milton Williams and Christian Barmore drop into coverage. They dropped into coverage on that touchdown. They did not pressure the quarterback. And one, those are big dudes. Why are you not rushing the quarterback? Why are you dropping into coverage? Why the hell are you dropping into coverage? Makes no sense to me at all. That might have been the dumbest play I've ever seen, to have big-ass Milton Williams and big-ass Christian Barmore, your two defensive tackles, just drop into coverage. And also, during that play, Trey Tucker, he just completely cooked Jaylinn Hawkins. And the safeties were a big problem on the field yesterday. The PFF, they came out with their grades for the safeties. Craig Woodson's grade was 68.3, a 57.9 pass rush grade. Obviously, the safeties aren't doing very good at pass rushing. Jaylinn Hawkins is, because he did end up getting a sack. Run defense, 78.7. I was impressed with the run defense, but the coverage grade, 60.9 for Craig Woodson. And then we go over to Jaylinn Hawkins. His overall grade was 43.4, and his coverage grade was 44.6. And in yesterday's games, his coverage grade of 44.6 was 38th out of 42 safeties. His overall grade was 39th out of 42 safeties that played in Sunday's games, and of course on Thursday and on Friday. That's not good. That's not good. And it comes back to the overreaction and the question, why the hell did you cut Jabrill Peppers? Why the hell? I don't think I saw Kyle Duggar on the field, and he's supposed to be your backup safety. So the Patriots, obviously, you're just going with, hey, we have these guys. We're just going to go with these guys, and we're just going to let them go at it. I don't agree with that. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that decision by Mike Vrabel and Terrell Williams and this defense, because you need good safeties. I guarantee you, if Jabrill Peppers was still playing and still on this team, does Trey Tucker catch that touchdown? I don't know. Later in the game, I know Carlton Davis let up that long play to Dante Thornton, but with a good safety, does he see the field well enough to kind of weave his way over to the side? I don't know. But these safeties seem like they're going to be a problem throughout each and every week. It seems like it's going to be a big problem for this team, and I don't want to watch that happen. I don't want to see Jaylinn Hawkins let up. I mean, I'm not one to determine a PFF grade, but in my eyes, when he wasn't rushing the quarterback or when he wasn't on run defense, he looked terrible. And I don't want to go through 17 more weeks of this. They need to figure out the answer at safety. And you had the answer. And it was Jabrill Peppers. And I'm going to keep going on and on and on that they shouldn't have cut him. So I'll ask again to you guys. Should the Patriots have cut Jabrill Peppers? C for cut, K for keep. Simple as that. Because it is very, very, very annoying. Thankfully, they play Miami next week. It's in Miami. They just got demolished 33-8. But if you lose that game and you start off the season 0-2, the sky might be falling in New England already. Is it a must-win game? I don't know. It's hard to determine in week 2 of the NFL season. But we got you covered here on Patriots Today. We're going to be talking about it. I'm not happy about yesterday's game. Still not happy about yesterday's game. But still going to rep my team. Still going to talk about them. And still going to give you guys the content you guys deserve. So make sure you subscribe to Patriots Today. And as always, let's go Pats.